Hello, welcome to another week of Stranger Origins podcast. I am Mark, and this
I
is
am Jack.
the Sexy Jack. We're in again. Yeah,
Well,
very interesting week
yeah, we'll just
so far.
probably address it. There wasn't an episode last week. We timing issues didn't make sense, and then we kind of like took a couple of days off for like mental health reasons. So we're all back now,
For
all
sure.
good. That last episode took it out of
Yep.
us.
That was a quite a topic, wasn't
It's funny if
it?
you go back and actually watch the videos, you can see us to like slowly slip into the down period. Like the last two episodes were
Crumbling
really
into the
bad.
every episode we release is like the opening topic is crumbling into the abyss very slowly in
Yeah,
isolation.
and then we come back
You
and we're
know.
like, "Hey, everybody, we're back again."
Yeah, what's up? You should hear our voices before we start those podcasts. We're just there like, oh man, why is life so miserable? Hey, it's Mark, this is Jack.
I mean,
Super happy right after.
part of the reason why like life is so fucking miserable at the moment is like the weather is
The
terrible.
weather sucks,
And I
absolutely
know you've got some
sucks.
strong opinions on the weather at the moment.
Oh my God. I mean, honestly, I mean, you know where this is going too. Is we had loads of park days lined up because I refuse to go to a bar even though bars are open because there are no actual vaccines.
Yeah,
You just told me three bars closed down or something,
yeah.
right?
Free pubs like
Like,
in London closed because of there was like an outbreak of corona. It's
yeah,
like ridiculous.
it's a running. I don't know, like murmurs amongst your friends, but like the people who talk to me, there was so many like mutterings of there's going to be a second lockdown, and
Yeah.
people are joking about it, but they're laughing. But then they got that like half laugh
Well,
where they're half scared. They're like, not again,
the
it's
problem
coming.
is that they're laughing about it and then going to the pub.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like a
exactly.
lot of my friends like that I know are just like don't mind going to the pub or going to like long distance travel to go to places like just to go to a pub. I'm like, why? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's really not that necessary. I guess the weather does that's the reason why
It
pub
has
culture
forced
is so
us.
big. Like in our countries, we can't exactly sit outside
Yeah,
and drink because of rain and cloud, so everyone goes inside.
exactly.
But hopefully,
Yeah.
we get some sun soon.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the last like 2 weeks, we've just been, forced, like driven indoors by the crappy weather, trying to go out and like sneak out and meet people
Yeah,
every opportunity
it
you
feels like a
get in
month
between.
ago that we were doing those sunny park visits. Like even though we could see the podcast was like a week and a half or something.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we talked about that in the last podcast, but I think you just showed up one day. You're like, Mark, I want to go park every day. It's sunny this week. And I was
Yeah,
like, well,
we'll do
you're
it,
driven. I'm coming.
dude. I'm
So for
glad I
four
did it.
days, we drank.
I'm glad I did it. We got our
Yeah.
money's worth like for the sun.
It was nuts because every morning we woke up, we were scrambling around. Who do we know? Who's close by that will come down? Invited everyone. And by the end of the week, we had like, oh no, like a good bunch of people sitting around.
It's
So
pretty
that was a
good.
lot of fun.
But yeah,
Yeah. And then, the weather just came and stripped that away from us. They took away that blanket of comfort
we still haven't got
and
it.
abandoned us in the cold.
I actually got like a message from a friend saying like, "What are you doing this Saturday?" And I was like, I actually don't know because like it depends on the weather." And he was like, "It's gonna be sunny." And I was like, you believe the weather reports, do you? Like is that because
It's yeah.
I don't?"
You got such a good point, actually. The weather's been jumping so much. It's supposed to be raining today. I haven't seen rain
Oh,
in my area,
I've
at
had
least.
rain. I've had like
You've had it.
spitting rain is what I've had.
Fair enough.
This is why people tune into the podcast, by the way, just to hear weather reports.
Weather reports in London. Super, super important slash necessary. Okay, so one thing you made me do this week, which I'm glad you did, to be fair, is you made me watch PewDiePie again for the first time in literally a year and a half.
Yeah,
I haven't checked that.
it was mainly just because like there's a show that everyone was talking about before called 90 Day Fiancé, which is it's basically like the definition of trash TV. Like it's basically what is that show again? Oh, what's the one with the Tiger King guy? It's that one,
Oh,
right?
Tiger King,
Yeah,
yes.
it's
Yep.
basically that, but like on a different platform. That's pretty much what it is. But like it's just trashy TV. Like, but the whole premise is like these guys or girls, like whatever, meet up and they get married within 90 days, and they're the love of their life. They've never actually met in person, but that's it. They fall in love, and that's the whole premise. And you just
Just
basically
that
see how it's
premise is
all
a
wrong.
recipe.
Yeah,
It's just a recipe for disaster, isn't it? Like right
pretty
from the
much.
beginning.
It's funny. Like,
Oh
and he
man.
does the best commentary that I've seen, like someone talking about it because he shows the clips and he talks over it and stuff like that. But I think the one in particular that I sent you was like like a guy in America and a Filipino wife. I think, like, or he's trying to get a Filipino wife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I want to hear your first thoughts and your first reaction
No,
on that episode.
I thought that was masterful trickery when you sent that down to me. You're like, okay, you got the Filipino angle there, so that I can see this and just like have my own gripes,
Definitely.
so to speak. Yeah. Like oh dude, one thing that immediately just, sort of offended me that PewDiePie picked up on immediately was they subtitle her when she speaks English.
Yeah.
She's speaking our
I
language. Are you
remember
kidding
I
me?
remember him saying like you don't need to subtitle. I can understand what she's saying. Like it makes no sense.
When I looked down, I saw the subs, and I was actually slightly offended. I'm not gonna lie. I was
Well,
like,
I've seen that happen before, like when Scottish or Irish or some even Cockney like talk on like anything, they'll
yeah,
put subtitles for Americans because they just really don't understand accents. Like it just
I
doesn't
see.
work.
Yeah.
Like
God damn it, man.
it's very
To be fair,
strange.
I don't really understand accents. I mean, you worked for me, and we got served by an Irish customer, and I kept looking at you, just like, what do I do? What do I put in
He was
this?
Scottish, but yeah.
He was Scottish.
It was a thick Scottish accent and you couldn't understand it.
They're all the same, Jack. I'm joking. Don't
God
come down
damn
and kill me, please.
it.
No, yeah, so yeah, I mean, that was my first initial gripe. I mean, of course, you brought this up earlier on before the podcast, but he puts mayo in his hair because his hair
Yeah,
is actually dry from dyeing it. What?
dude,
Like,
what was he like? I think we didn't even address the other issue is that he's like 53
he
and
is 53, she's like,
she's 23 or something.
oh man,
Like
yeah,
and then like he also lied about his height. Like he said he was five foot
yeah,
two, and she's 5'2", and actuality he was 4'11". Like
yeah. Dude,
it's just horrible.
I think that's like such a good, like segue topic into just, lying in the building block parts of your relationship, like
Yeah,
where does that end up? Because
definitely.
obviously, like I've never heard of a situation where someone's like lied about their height or something that's like definitely factual, like their age,
Well,
and then had that turn out well.
it's something that's grown like I guess I would say in popularity for less lack of a better word, but it's something that's grown like in definitely more awareness like nowadays in like Tinder and stuff like where there's a lot of
Mm,
memes where women are saying, "Oh, like I won't date you unless you're 6 foot," like that sort of thing. Like,
yeah,
and I think
yeah,
like obviously this guy was. I mean, I would be self-conscious if I was 4'11". To be fair, like,
yeah.
but
I think that's a fair point.
he's it's not a good start, man. Like the girl that you want to marry and you're saying you love, like you're already lying to her. Like, come on, man.
I mean, at least on Tinder, like I guess half the people's objective is just to get laid, right?
I
If you're going in
guess.
to get married, you probably shouldn't lie about your height.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
reckon.
definitely not going to go down well.
Did you? I don't know if you heard. I don't know if it's in that episode, but you also heard that like he was married before and he has a kid. The
Yes.
reason he got divorced was
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he cheated on her.
Yeah.
Like this guy's just a scumbag. Like I don't
He
understand.
is.
And there's so many follow-ups to that story that you need to watch. By the way.
Oh my God. So th this one part, I'm certain you noticed this, but I'm not sure how long ago you watched it.
Yeah.
They were actually in Philippines and he bought something for 190 pesos, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
so that the lady took his wallet and he was like, "Oh, I don't know how much that is." Like one, if you're going to another country, at least check the currency. That's one thing me and you
Yep.
always do.
Definitely.
How much is euros in this country? Like
Like
how much is, yen?
yeah.
Like we work that shit out before we land. So he didn't know how much 200 like pesos is. That's a very small amount of money still.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, don't take that money." In the end, he relented, gave her the money. She gave him 200 pesos, and then was like, "Keep the change." And he was like, "Whoa, don't let him keep the change. Like,
Yeah.
how much is that? It's 10 pesos, man.
I think
10
they
pesos.
worked it out. It was 20 cents
It was like
was the
20
change,
Sally.
like the equivalent. And he was so butthurt about it. Like he just really didn't want to give that money. Like it was crazy. These people earn
Dude,
like
yeah.
nothing. Like and you're trying to stop them from having 20 cents. Like come on, man.
Yeah. Were you getting nostalgia when you saw them like walking around, I guess like Manila, like the markets and stuff like that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually I loved the whole market stalls. What I didn't love was like the fucking guys coming up to me trying to sell me stuff all the time. Like
Yeah, that was super annoying.
it's
That's
like
one that's one
numb
thing they left out.
flashbacks.
Yeah. There was
Like
later on in the same show they sold a shirt for like 450 pesos. I was like, if that guy wasn't white, that
oh
price
yeah.
wouldn't have been so high,
Like, dude,
you know?
when she said 450 pesos, I was like, that's a bit much. Like,
Yeah, I was like,
having
for
been
that?
there,
Are
I
you
was
kidding
like,
me?
no, 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 that's like 200 at least. Like, come on, he's getting ripped off because he's
We
white.
were, I will say we were lucky to have my good family like Darling and like a good like couple of cousins,
Yeah,
come in and just be like, that's not the price you want to pay for. This is what you want to go for, and they would haggle for us because they're absolutely
I
amazing.
think I ended up not paying, like, as in not giving the money myself for a lot of things. Actually, I just mainly gave it to Darling and she did it because like
Yeah.
it made to the point where like people are gonna try and take advantage sometimes, like and
Hmm.
that's just it. Like it just happens everywhere. So like
Yeah,
sometimes you just give them the money to say, look, you sort it out. You also talk the language, so it's a lot easier. Like, so
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I think that's what he took. He didn't understand when his, like, I guess, wife, whatever, took the wallet off of him and tried to pay. It's because it's easier.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you standing there going, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what? That's not helping. Like, you just give him the money.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
Also,
you're exactly right. Like, it definitely works out cheaper if you just, you hand over the money to a trusted individual
yeah.
and they'll do the
Also,
haggling,
by the way, how can you
themselves.
not figure it out? I'm sorry. She said it's 200 pesos, right? The notes have numbers on them. Like, just count to 200.
Yeah,
I've got them here in my room. Like, I see them. They say like 50 on them or 100 or whatever.
yeah,
It's not
exactly.
hard. Like, just god damn it.
It's an articulate like currency, just like every other currency, so to speak. It's really easy to figure out. So that was surprising.
Uh,
Um, there was one thing as well. It was like when she got back, they all took a shower together, and he was like, "Oh no,
yeah.
like this is."
I
I
mean,
will
he did
say,
it. To be fair,
yeah, I like taking a shower with someone else's dad, like
it's very weird.
like the girl you're dating's dad. That would be weird. And even in Philippines, like as a kid growing up,
It
I can't
also,
remember ever like
like, just to
that
preface
wasn't a
this,
thing
so
for me.
yeah, she tried to say it like it was standard, but
Yeah, that's not a thing.
no one asked me to shower with them. Like, none of Mark's family
Yeah,
asked me
it's
to
like,
shower with them. But also, it wasn't a
I,
shower.
I,
Like, it was a
yeah,
bucket of water, and they just pour it over their head. They kept their trousers on and everything. It wasn't like a shower. Like, as
exactly.
soon as you
Yeah,
say shower, I thought, wait, they're gonna get like naked together, like the boyfriend and
yeah,
the father. But no, it was just a wash. You know,
yeah,
that's what it was.
yeah, for sure.
Blown way out of
Yeah,
proportion. Like, trying to say, like, it's definitely American TV shows trying to say, like, look how different this culture is. Like,
yeah.
and it's
Oh
like,
man,
not
oh dude,
really.
I had a gripe with the editing, and this is American editing, where he asked the Filipino dad a question, and he just gave him this dirty like stare that they
Oh yeah,
reused about 3 times to elongate it to 3 times the length before he responded. And I was like, why are you trying to make him seem this like sinister? Like he's just a happy dad. Like he's a
yeah.
nice guy.
Like,
His response was, as long as you look after her, like it's
yeah,
fine. I was
they're
like,
trying
why
to
is this a high
create like
tension moment?
tension and drama. Like he's taking a long time to think about it.
Exactly.
It probably took like a less than a second for him to respond.
Yeah, I
They go,
agree.
you're probably
Most
fine.
likely.
Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard the other controversy, because you probably didn't think this was even a big moment, because either you didn't like like, it wasn't a big deal in the show, like, and
Mm.
when PewDiePie shows it, it wasn't really a big deal either. But it
Yeah.
comes back to bite him on the ass so much more, like, later. So he
Does
asks the
it?
girl to shave her legs,
Ooh.
before, like, if they're gonna be together, and she does
Yeah.
it, like, but it's such a, like, it was such a bad request. Like, everyone gunned him for this, like, because it was saying, like, he was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so unusual to have a woman that doesn't shave her legs, and like, everyone in America was like, what are you talking about? Like,
It's
like, it's not that bad. Like, it's not that, like, different. If they want to shave their legs, they want to shave their legs. It's not something that you need to,
yeah.
like,
It
say
should
you.
always be an option, like
Yeah.
not a demand,
He
right?
also, by
Like
the
what the
way,
hell's up with that?
like, so this comes up later, but he also bought her a toothbrush and mouthwash because he said her breast stinks.
Oh,
Like, this
wow.
guy's an
Okay.
actual asshole. So
Jesus. That's what you would do to give someone a sick burn, isn't it? Like
yeah,
you'd
like,
show up.
you give him chewing gum or something. Like, I don't know, man.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's astounding.
he was a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
So definitely
I'll
watch
tell
the
you what,
follow
but I'm glad
ups.
you recommended it to me. Like I'm gonna watch the rest. I know you've seen the other episodes.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
there's way better ones than that one. Like, trust
way
me.
better.
Yeah, they're really good.
I'm so curious. Like does he do like other relationships or
Yeah,
is it just the
that's what I
same
mean.
one?
There's other couples.
Oh, sick. Cool, cool,
So
cool. Okay.
I
So I saw like already he's got a part two, so I'm like
yeah, there's actually
keen. I
part
want to see it.
3, I think, of that one. Because that
Nice.
one
I'm gonna
really
see.
blew up in America. Because it came out sort of like that they actually really hate each other now. So, and they go
Really?
on a talk show together and everything. So yeah, you really need to see it. It's funny.
Oh man. I can understand her, point of view, but I can see why,
Oh yeah,
like you
he's
would
just an
really hate
asshole.
this guy. Yeah.
Surprised she fell in love with him, to be fair. Because
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't get the sense of a gold digger or anything like that from her. Like, she just
No,
wanted kids.
yeah. I'm Filipino. I've seen Filipino gold diggers. I know what they
Yeah.
look like. Um, and they can come across as really irritating. Like PewDiePie actually brought that up at one point. He was like, "Yeah,
She seems
I was
genuine.
expecting her to be. Yeah, she seems really genuine, but like she seems really cool, like as an individual, I guess.
Yeah.
As portrayed
But
in the
definitely,
show.
I think definitely, like, anyone watching this, like, if you don't want to see trashy TV, then don't watch it. But if you want to see, like, and just, I guess, do the guilty thing that a human does and laugh at other people's misfortune, like, it's probably just like, it's something you should check out. It's pretty funny. Like,
There's no better way to make yourself happy, Jack.
yeah, the reason like
Oh
the reason
man.
why I say watch like the PewDiePie one or whatever like that is because the 90 Day Fiance thing is actually like an hour long, where he just
Oh
concise it down to like what 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So I
yeah.
don't want to waste my time watching that much trash TV. Like I'd rather just get a summary.
Especially, dude, especially if you know anything about American editing, because they will
Oh
they
yeah.
will pad an episode if they can. I watched Tiger King, Jack. I actually did it.
Oh
They
really?
convinced me. Oh my days, do you have to re-say the same information over and over again for 30 minutes? Is that necessary in America?
Well, they might
Like,
forget.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Did you
Like
see it in the end, Jack? Did you
I
see
never
Tiger
watched it.
King?
No. Cause I heard so
That's
much about
exactly
it.
what
I
it
was
is.
like, there's no point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they just found a way to like stretch, I don't know, like an hour's worth of information
Oh my
into six
god.
episodes that are an hour long,
I don't know if
in
you've
my
ever
opinion.
seen the was it Hell's Kitchen? Like, have you seen Hell's
Yeah.
Kitchen in the UK and Hell's Kitchen in America? It's
I've never
completely
done it. Everyone keeps saying this
yeah,
is you've
it's
got to try it.
completely
I've only seen
different.
the American.
Like it's like the moments where people are talking, they're just talking to each other, and in American they have that that metal screeching sound to try and create
Oh
tension.
yeah.
It's like what is going on, man? Like it's not even that deep.
Don't don't they have the foreboding soundtrack in the back at the same
Yeah,
time in
always. Like
America Hell's
like
Kitchen?
what's gonna happen? This person's talked back to Gordon Ramsay. Oh my god! Like when in the UK one, it's like he spoke back, they spoke together, and then they sorted it out. That was it.
Yeah, I see. Oh man,
But yeah,
I kind of want to check it out. It's like a down to earth like Hell's Kitchen. I'm kind of curious about that now.
it's pretty funny.
You know. The other thing, yeah. I mean, we already covered the topic of like pubs reopening, I
Yeah,
guess, and
definitely.
people going to them. I guess it's good, as long as people are reasonable about it. I'm sure. I'm sure it's
Is it
like more
good?
than worth checking out a pub.
I don't know. I don't think all I've heard is like when they opened, I heard some health like professionals and scientists saying like a pub or a bar is probably the most dangerous place you can go right now.
Yeah,
And I'm just
exactly.
like,
So that's it's kind of iffy.
like I'm done not listening to the experts. So like
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away for a while because like
I mean,
my gym's
one thing
opening up
that's
soon
interesting.
as
I'll
well.
go for it. Yeah, yeah.
I was saying my
That
gym
that's
is
got to be
opening soon. It's
interesting.
gonna be like 3 4 days. I think they're gonna open. I don't want to go back there
Yeah,
yet. Like
yeah,
it's just like because I know people are dumb.
yep,
I know I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have like symptoms, but to be fair, you don't even need to have symptoms to have it. But at
Mm,
the same time, like I just, I also got an at-risk person here. I don't want to just spread it. There's no point.
yeah. Also, I remember going gym with you, and like sometimes we were down there, and you'd get these sweaty teenagers just like
Yeah,
dripping all over all the weights. They never bought like cloths to wipe it down. They never looked after the equipment and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, hopefully they
So,
sort all
you
that out.
know,
There was talks that they're gonna take your temperature every time before you go in and everything. Like that
oh,
would be
that's
pretty cool.
interesting.
But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty good. I
yeah.
was I was thinking, we met two individuals because one thing that we did in the park was just, like try and meet people and just hang out, I guess. And
During COVID,
friends bring friends during COVID.
just try.
At safe distance too.
Yeah,
Like no one's ever getting in each other's faces and that sort of stuff. And we met like a very nice American bloke and a very nice lady from Oman who recently touched down in the UK just before the coronavirus, so they haven't
yeah.
been able to explore the pubs, bars, and like get in deep with the culture as they kind of wanted to. So I know for sure they probably would like to check it out.
I feel
And
sorry for the guy as well because I think his whole objective was to come to England and have like that as a base to go and see all of Europe, and then he touches
exactly.
down lockdown. You ain't going nowhere. Like, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, it dawned on me last night before I fell asleep because insomniacs go sleep at 5 for some reason if they fall asleep.
it's a good
And
idea.
one of the things I know you're still sleeping incredibly late now as well,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, cool.
But it dawned on me. I was like, I had good plans for 2020. This was the year. I remember saying that
Oh
on New
yeah, yeah,
Year's. I think you were there at the party. It's like this is the year, guys.
dude.
This is
We were
it's gonna be
saying
a
it
good year.
the whole of winter. We were like, we're gonna do so much in 2020. We're gonna go to like holidays and everything like that.
Me and you were working so much from January to March,
Oh yeah,
actually. Like every shift that came up, like please give us some money so we can go crazy in the summer.
yeah,
And then yeah, I guess not only do we have a terrible English summer going on right now,
that's
but
true.
also we got a pandemic spreading across the world. So
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be done
2020,
soon.
yeah. Hopefully, hopefully. So I might actually be going back to work. I got the call today from our lovely
Oh,
manager, and
okay.
everyone at Wetlands is lovely. And this is interesting. I want to know your opinion on this. That they put me back in for 5 days, which I'm more than happy to do. I'm slightly restless, would love to work a bit.
Yeah.
5 days to cover the holidays of the two mainstay staff members who've definitely been working really hard, and I'm more than happy to cover their holiday. And but I'm going back on for 5 days, and then I'm going back on furlough. So it's like it's such an
Oh.
interesting little,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So I thought you meant you're actually going back. You're not. You're just going because they've got
Ex-
holiday booked, I guess.
Exactly that. Yeah, they're going on holiday,
So
and so
who's
I'm
with you?
literally coming off furlough
Is
five
someone
days
is
and then going back
are
on.
you gonna have someone with you, or is it just gonna be you on your own? Like, what's
Oh,
happening?
this is the interesting. So like some people from maintenance, like those lovely jokers. They
Yeah.
actually work in the courtyard every now and then. Actually,
Oh,
they know how
okay.
to
So
man it.
for people that don't know, by the way, like, there's a little kiosk outside of our workplace because we work basically in like a restaurant, like kitchen area, and
Yeah,
there's a little kiosk outside that I think they've just been selling like hot goods and stuff like that for people. Well, not even hot goods. I think
yeah,
it's just normal goods actually, cold beverages and hot beverages. That's it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but is that still happening, or are they actually going to open up the actual kitchen?
So yeah, no, that's still happening. I think they plan to keep that going for as long as they can.
Okay.
Um, and so it's really interesting because I had say like I don't know what they're called, but the people who help like man the help desks. I can't remember what they're called.
Receptionists
Receptionist, our
or
amazing
help desk
receptionist.
receptionists?
She apparently she apparently knows how to work the courtyard now. Like it's
Oh
what my
wow.
manager said this morning, and I was like, wow, wetlands has changed quite a
So,
bit since
so are
our
we
day.
getting fired? Is
Not
that
to
is
say
that what's happening?
maybe not to say that they because they would always come down and help us all the time, or
Yeah, of
just
course.
hang out quite a bit. So
Well, I mean
yeah,
that's actually good news. So whenever it gets like really busy again, we can say, "Well, you got no fucking excuse. Come down and help us."
yeah, exactly. Calm the hell down. See you guys goofing off.
Well, yeah,
What the
I
hell?
mean, obviously don't envy you, but I know you want to do it anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at
yeah,
least it's only for 5 days. That's pretty cool. Your
yeah. It's
pay
even
is going
better.
to be interesting as fuck. I don't know how they're going to figure that
I'm
one out.
honestly, I'm gonna be nervous about this coming in. Like, they
It's
better
like
not mess this
because
up.
you're going to have furlough pay. They're going to pay you like your normal rate, and then they go, well, you worked 5 days, so we can't add that onto furlough because then you didn't do that. I feel like you're just going to get the
Yeah,
same amount of money. Is what I think. I think you're just going
I'm
to work for
I'm not
free.
gonna. I actually had to sit and think about this, and this is how I morally convinced myself to do it. Was that you know I should technically be working, and like the two individuals, they're like our main regular staff, have been there the entire time, like at least for the last 2 weeks, so to
Yeah.
speak. So I was like, yeah, it'd be a dickhead not to like for me,
So
who has like a low risk household to not cover their
when's this
shifts.
happening?
23rd, I believe, to the 27th.
Okay,
So,
so I know to stay away from you for about a week after that,
after
just in
that.
case you get COVID.
I think one of the reasons why they wanted me in as well, they were like, they know I'm gonna cycle in as well, so I'll be off
Yeah,
like public transport, getting in the safe way,
dude,
and
you gotta
I actually
have.
miss the cycle.
Please have like a little spray bowl of antibacterial next to you, and just be
I
like,
will.
whenever someone comes near you, just stay back, demon. Like, don't touch me.
I have the spray bottle and a cross and some holy water on the side just in
Like every
case.
time you serve someone, you just spray them in the face and be like, "Be gone!" Like, get out of here. Hold up a
I'm
cross.
curious as to like, how do you deal with a customer who's coughing and looks like they have
You
symptoms?
refuse to serve them. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
I'd be
I think
like,
that's a fair
"Get out!
point.
Like, I just saw you cough into your hand. Get away from me. Don't touch me."
Yeah.
Like,
Don't want him coughing in
I'm
my eye
sorry.
or eyebrows.
That's exactly what I would do. I'm sorry. Like, there's my health comes way before like giving someone a
Yeah.
coffee. Like,
Mm.
so
Dude, it's interesting that you brought that up now because I heard of this story, I think it was in America somewhere, a Starbucks, where this customer advisor was serving this lady,
mm,
and he refused to serve her on the basis that she didn't have a mask. So,
okay,
this being America, she blew up, started shouting loads of profanities at him,
man.
calling him a, dickhead and all other types of stuff. And then like she stormed out. And apparently like everyone reacted so positively to that guy. They were like, "Good, you stuck to your guns." Like,
Yeah,
they have a standard rule in in Starbucks. You got to
that's
wear a
good. I
face
mean,
mask. So
I'm happy about that. I like it actually like it makes me think of our system because I'm actually extremely disappointed in our system. Like because of like you've told me as well. Like the buses, you have to wear a
yeah,
mask if you get on a bus. You have to.
yeah,
The
hmm
amount of people that are getting on buses and not wearing masks is insane. Like I
yeah,
live right next to a main road, so I can see all the people sitting on the buses that aren't wearing masks all the time. Like,
mm,
like people go, "Oh, you have to have a mask to get on." It's not a fucking Oyster card. You don't put it away after you've got on the bus. You just keep the mask
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
the people that don't have a mask and the people that get on there and just keep the mask off are just dumb. Like I
yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah,
stress that enough. I hate the people like that. I don't understand what you're doing. Like it's
yeah,
this the bare minimum. Just wear something on your face. It's bare minimum, man. Like
yeah.
and
Especially
people
when the
still not doing
purpose
it.
is life and death to some people.
Yeah.
When you think about it from a moral standpoint, people
And
will
it's not
die.
even like you when
If
it's
people
like
don't
life and
take
death.
precautions.
Like when you say like stuff like life and death, everyone automatically assumes like cancer, leukemia, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
No, just asthma. Like just
yeah,
asthma you could die from this. Like there's quite
yeah,
a high amount of people that live in London that have asthma because of the pollution and smog that came from the previous generations. Like it's not
yeah, yeah, yeah.
an uncommon thing. So
Mm.
what are you doing? Take a mask with
Yeah.
you. Wear one. If you're not gonna take a mask with you, fucking walk. That's
And
it.
honestly speaking, it's super cheap to get one.
Yeah.
And almost every corner store has one too, which I've discovered recently
Yeah,
in
like
my travails.
I'm just
So,
like I'm just fed up with it, man. Like I keep seeing
yeah.
people flouting it all the time. Like the busing. The reason why the busing's more important to me, like, is that's where people are traveling from far. That you're congregating in one area, like it's that
Mm.
sort of thing where you're touching poles and all that stuff. Like you have to touch a pole, you'll fall over otherwise, right? Like that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, yeah.
stuff. Like it's a load of people, different people in one area. If it was like
Mm.
in a park or something, it's a little bit less, severe because you're not touching the same things, like
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you,
yeah, for
you.
sure.
But come on, man, just keep your mask on, and then don't do that stupid thing where
Yeah.
you put the mask like around your mouth and not your nose. Come on now,
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
god
I
damn.
feel like that's just like, misinformation or something. Like they don't actually know you have to cover your nose alongside your mouth.
Dude,
Maybe.
I
Or
wouldn't be
maybe they just
surprised
haven't
if
noticed
people
it
were that
slipped.
dumb. Like, oh god, no way.
Yeah.
There is no way it did not slip. I'm not gonna give them that benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, like that's not happening.
Because like as you know, the whole the mask thing was it's very deeply enrooted into Asian culture. I remember like going to
Yeah.
Japan, seeing loads of people working with that. I remember I showed up to work one day when I had a cough and I was wearing a mask and like everyone was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm not gonna cough on anyone.
Well,
I
that's the
refuse to cough
thing.
on
Like,
anything.
I
I'm forced to
think
work." So,
you're the one that told me this. Like I remember about three years ago. I think it's when I found out. Like I was
mm,
like, are you scared of getting like an infection? And you told me no, it's because I've got one. Like, and
yeah,
I never made that connection that people, the reason people are wearing masks is not because they're scared of catching something from someone else. It's because they're scared of transmitting it. And
yeah,
I never
yeah,
understood
exactly
that
that.
until you told me. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that makes a hell of a lot more sense.
yeah. And that's one thing I like about Japanese culture. I think it's considered incredibly rude if you've got like a cold or something not to wear a mask because
Yeah,
at least the mask tells you, "Hey, stay away from this guy."
yeah.
Um, because they have a very work oriented
just
culture down there, don't
just
they? So.
introverts wearing a mask 24/7 because they don't want anyone to be next to them.
Oh yeah,
Stay away from me, I'm ill.
for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
we're coming close to the end now. But I wanted to say
oh,
like a few things. Like there was we got a shout out recently from
oh
a
yes,
friend of ours, cup of Laura, gotta call her. That's her Instagram one,
yeah.
and she like shouted us out, and we really appreciate it. There's a couple
Mm,
of other people that have been listening to our stuff and shouting us out as well. So I appreciate
yeah,
we appreciate all of that stuff, all of that
yeah,
good stuff.
absolutely. As you said, absolutely, love Laura. I absolutely love my family because I know some of you have been listening to us, and I'm super appreciative of that.
Definitely.
Thank you, Orion and Yvette.
You're just gonna just
Ah,
out
you know what?
it.
Yeah, I just gotta out her. Screw it. She gets outed. Everyone else gets
Gets an anonymity, like.
yeah, they get retained there.
But yeah, no, we're
But
super
yeah, absolutely.
appreciative. Like, and we are excited.
Yeah,
Like, if we start, if we start getting people that listen a lot more, we can start having people actually tell us and ask us what they think we should talk about next time, and hear our
yeah.
opinions on it and stuff like that. So
It's a
generate a
it's a
discussion.
great shout. Anything like anything you're watching this week or next month or something, just definitely drop us. Hey, maybe you guys can comment on this, and we'll be happy to talk about it.
Yeah, and it makes us happy to interact and talk about different topics that we're interested in. If we don't talk about it, just
Absolutely.
means we're not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair point.
but yeah, no,
Absolute pleasure.
that's been a Strange Origins podcast, and thanks for listening.
Catch you next week.